Back then, guys, for another episode of Empower Online, and this time we are going to talk to Matt Chapman about how you can make money in your pants, which is his speciality. The Mittmaster is obviously really well known within the martial arts industry in terms of like making money online, selling online courses, things like that. But we're going to talk a little bit today about how to build a brand up and how to make your first £1,000 online. So, Mr. Matt Chapman, thank you very much for coming on. For those who don't really know you, do you want to give a little bit of a brief history about your background and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So thanks for inviting me on, Dan. I appreciate that.
Of course.
So I've been a martial artist for close to 40 years now, which is a long time. Started with ninjutsu, did that for about a decade, then moved to JKD, kickboxing, Muay Thai, then into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, then into MMA, and into various other bits and pieces over the last 40 years. Ran a full-time school in Loughton, Essex with my mate James for 20 years, which was very successful. About 400 members in that school, which was a great experience. Obviously gave me a lot of time to do other things as well. But I found when I was training a lot of fighters, getting beaten up by a lot of fighters, holding pads a lot, and then I had 2 kids, I was getting a bit burnt out. So I was doing a bit too much of the teaching side of things, training too hard, getting beaten up by young, athletic, aggressive men, and not sleeping because of the children. So I was kind of feeling a bit flat, a bit burnt out. And I thought, I wonder if there's another way to make a living doing martial arts that doesn't require me to get battered all day. So I started looking at creating online content.
Yeah.
And because there's already quite a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu content out there at the time, DVDs and videos on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a lot of which I'd bought. And I thought, I wonder if like anyone else would be interested in mitts, because what I really loved about training was mitts and sparring. So I thought, shall I create a little course on that? So I did all the work. I got the camera, got the lights, did all the filming, created my first course, which was called Mittmaster Level 1, which you probably got somewhere, Dan.
I do, yeah.
On DVD, no less.
Indeed, yeah.
That far ago. Launched that and immediately made 0 sales for an entire year. Like,
excellent.
No one wanted to buy it apart from Dan in the first year. So not the greatest start to that business, but since then, obviously, it's gone crazy, and is now a great way for me to support my family, make money semi-passively, and I kind of help other instructors now through coaching them how to run their business more effectively, and also through helping them create online courses and resources so that they can make money without getting beaten up. Because I think, like, when you're younger, you don't really think about this. Like, when you're in your 20s and your 30s, it's just fun, like fighting, sparring, holding pads, teaching classes. You got so much energy, it's just great. But as you progress into your late 30s, early 40s, early 50s, the damage starts to rack up and you start to wear down, and things don't work quite as good as they used to, and the joints get a bit stiff. And then you start thinking about how can I continue to do this at this level for the next 20 or 30 years? And I was like, I need another way to earn a living that doesn't require me to one be there, but to like take lots and lots of damage. So I think a lot of instructors, especially older instructors, are now getting on to the idea that maybe I should look at other ways of earning through my passion. So I kind of help them with that as well.
Perfect. There's quite a lot to unpack there, obviously, and we've got your martial arts background, which is expansive. You covered loads and loads of different martial arts, and we could do a whole podcast on that, I'm sure, and all the people that you train with. But what I really want to focus on is the online side of it, of building up Mittmaster from kind of inception, and then all the way through that first year and all the struggles you went through to getting that first sale and how amazing that felt, and then obviously building it up now to you've made over $1 million in sales. So I think that's an incredible achievement, and just shows your perseverance as well as kind of having that idea. And I think a lot of people often kind of have that idea, but then they won't get the sale and it'll tail off. And I think that perseverance, like you're a prime example of doing that. where you've had that 12 months, nothing, not even a little bite or something. And then you go, first sale. And then now to scale to this kind of level where you're now teaching other people. I think that's amazing. So I think that should be the focus on this one, really.
Okay.
So can you remember that initial kind of moment when you went, right, I want to go online and I want to focus on mitts because I'm getting burnt out. This is what I need to do.
Yeah, I think I was, teaching morning classes at the gym, then training myself, then doing private lessons throughout the day, then teaching classes into the evening, and then mopping up, cleaning up, getting home about 10:30.
Yeah.
And I think I just sat down one day after this in my probably mid-30s, early 40s, and thought, I'm tired. This is hard.
Yeah.
And that was the point. And by that point, I'd already probably spent easily £1,000 myself on other people's DVD courses, ebooks, even some online courses back then. So I was probably going through them and thinking, hey, look, I could probably do this myself. I've got some experience that I think is beneficial to people. I like teaching. I'm passionate about helping people. Perhaps I could do this myself. So it kind of planted a little seed in my head.
Yeah.
And I decided, all right, I'm going to give it a go. But I had no strategy. I had no marketing skill. I had no skills in terms of tech. I was like totally clueless and just kind of went for it. And you mentioned that thing about perseverance. Like, I think there's something wrong with my head because to keep working at something for a year and not see any sort of benefit from it and not see any results from it is a rare thing. I think martial arts possibly taught me that, but I think I just knew that what I was creating had value and eventually it would get discovered and eventually people would want to get it. But that first year was kind of weird and tough. And I've had clients, like you say, who they go, Matt, I want to create online courses and I need your help. So I'm like, okay, so I help them. They create their first online course and they make a few sales. I've had clients make a couple of £100 and I've had clients make in excess of 25 grand in their first month. Wow. Quite a range, right? The ones that make 25 quid, 50 quid, 100 quid from their first course sales are then like, well, that was like it feels anticlimactic to them. But to me, it feels like, look, if you can make 25 quid, you can make 250 quid. If you make 250 quid, you make 2.5 grand. If you make 2.5 grand, you make 25 grand. And if you make 25 grand, you can make £250,000. So to me, it's like, yes, okay, it's your first course and you didn't necessarily get the massive amount of sales that you imagined you were going to get. You're not going to become an internet millionaire overnight with online courses. But if someone's bought it, that's a great sign. So now, what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? But a lot of people, I think, struggle with that. Maybe it's patience. Maybe it's they don't believe in themselves enough. Maybe they don't. A bit of imposter syndrome creeping in there. So
definitely. I think we'll talk about that.
What I think happens with a lot of instructors is they create an online course, they get a few sales, and they think people haven't bought this because I'm not good enough. But that's not true. People haven't bought it because you haven't done a good job of marketing it. That's the reality. So it's really quite complex. But that's where I started. I was like burnt out, exhausted. Obviously, I think if I didn't have the kids, I could have continued that for a much longer period. But when you've got broken sleep and you're up at 2 a.m. feeding a baby, it's hard to keep that intensity up.
Definitely, yeah. And you niched down quite early on, didn't you? You went, right, this is what I want to do. I want to focus on the focus mitt side of it. Yeah. Do you recommend people should niche, or is it kind of like a wide, you want to hit all different audiences, you want to kind of hit martial arts in general? If you've got, like yourself, you've got experience of such a wide range of martial arts, you could have gone in any direction at that point, really. You could have gone JKD, you could have gone kickboxing, you could have gone MMA, you could have gone, Filipino martial arts. But you went, okay, let's go focus mitts and let's focus on that bit and how we can do that. But why did you want to focus on that part? And then would you recommend that you would focus on one aspect of it? Or do you create courses and see what sticks?
You should focus on one area that you're insanely passionate about, because the passion will keep you going during the tough times when you're
during that first year when you've got no sales.
I would really focus on something that you're passionate about. And I was passionate about pad work. So I've done lots of martial arts. I'm an okay-ish grappler. I've done Filipino martial arts. I've done all these different systems. But the thing that I enjoyed most was hitting pads and sparring. So if you've got an area that you're really, really passionate about, that's great to focus on, because like I say, it'll keep you going. But also, passion is infectious and it comes across on the screen.
Sure.
So if you're really passionate about what you're doing, it comes across, it gets other people excited, it gets them infused. So that's why I chose that. And I think everyone who's thinking of doing this should focus on one single niche that you are really insanely passionate about, create products in that niche, and then speak to your customers and say, what else can I provide for you? And then it will get broader and broader and broader and broader. So now I've gone into different areas, not just pad holding, and broaden out. But to start with, best to just really focus in on one niche, nail it, and get known as the person who is the expert in that niche, because it's easy to attract. If I just put up martial arts courses in general, I don't think I'd be as well known as I am currently. You have to own a niche and get known as the specialist, then you can broaden out. So
Perfect. And what do you think some of the steps are to getting known then? We've talked about, like, Mittmaster is a brand now. People recognise Mittmaster. Usually if you talk to martial artists, definitely in the UK, but abroad as well, if you kind of go focus mitt training, online training, focus mitts in general, something like that, usually Mittmaster will come up. And obviously you've kind of cultivated that brand and you've cultivated that reputation through kind of online content and things like that, I suppose, and then going out and doing seminars. But is there more to it than that? Or is it just going out and doing as much as you can and putting as much out as you can?
It is about creating enough content that exists on the internet so that people can stumble across you in lots of different places and then be directed towards your website to learn more, to sign up, to buy courses. So Alex Hormozy, who's particularly famous at the moment, is a big fan of like the rule of 100. Like, if you're going to set up a YouTube channel, you need to just do 100 episodes before you even think about like doing anything with it. Like, that's the minimum. If you're going to write a blog, you're going to need to do at least 100 blog posts before you even, if you're creating content for Facebook, you need to do at least 100 posts or videos. And he's right. It takes a certain level of content to put out into the world. But luckily, there's ways of creating that content that doesn't mean you have to spend all your time filming. Like, one of the first people to do online courses was a guy called Marcelo Garcia, who's a grappling phenom, but also a very smart dude, because he has a school in New York. And what he used to do is film his classes and then put the recordings of his classes onto his online platform, and people around the world, because he is so good, and I was a member of his thing for a long time, his membership for a long time. So that's really clever, because he's there teaching anyway. He's teaching the class. You might as well just record the class, put it up online, and then people can buy it. So it doesn't mean that you have to spend all your time doing extra work. You can do things like record your classes, record your seminars, record your private lessons, etc., and that creates the content for your online courses. So you need a certain amount of content out into the world. Like, if you put out 5 videos, unless they're world-class videos or got some viral content on them, for example, it's not enough to kind of break through, to get into people's brains. They need to see you over and over and over, and then, like, this is what happens. Someone's on their phone, they're scrolling, they see your video, they ignore it. And then the next day they're on their phone and they see your video and they ignore it. And 2 weeks later on their phone, they see your video and they go, oh, it's that guy again, and they scroll past it. And the next month they're on their video, they see your video again, and something catches their eye about it. So they start to play and they go, yeah, it's okay. And they scroll past it. And 2 months later, they're on their video, they see your video, they actually watch a whole video. Oh, not bad. They keep scrolling. Next time they're on their phone, they see your video and then they comment. Then they might, check you out. They've watched a bit of your content, then they might go to your YouTube channel and watch a bit there and go, well, actually, there's some of this stuff is all right. And then they go to your website, then they become a lead, and then they become a customer. And you can only really do that if you've got enough content out into the world on channels where your ideal customer lives. So I'm old, therefore, like most of the people that I'm trying to attract will be on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. They
Yeah.
won't be on Snapchat and TikTok, for example, yet. TikTok's aging up. So what I did is I honed in on the channels where I knew people who would like my stuff hang out, and that's mainly Facebook for me.
Yep.
Instagram second, and YouTube. And I just put a lot of content on that. Now the good thing is you can put the same content on each platform. It's not like you have to film separate stuff. You just have to present it in a slightly different way. So the same content that's on my Facebook is also on my Instagram, and there's also on my YouTube, but cut up in different ways. Like on Instagram, it's short. On YouTube, it's long. On Facebook, it's a mixture of text and video. So yeah, you need enough stuff out into the world, and the more stuff you put out, the more feedback you get from people saying, I like that, can you create more of that? And other people saying that's a load of crap, and I hate you.
Yeah.
A bit harsh. But eventually you work out what type of content tends to resonate best with your audience, and then you just create more of that content, and then you start to get certain posts go semi-viral or something like that, which is really useful, and it grows from there.
Perfect. So someone's got an idea for a course, then they've gone, right, I'm getting burnt out, I'm exactly the same position Matt was in, I'm teaching 6 days a week, I'm doing private lessons, blah 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 blah, I've got 3 kids, I've got
7 days. 6 days a week.
Sorry, I'm teaching 7 days a week. I'm doing morning, evening, lunchtimes. I've got 10 kids. I've got 15 puppies. I'm going crazy. I need to sort my life out and go online. Right, I've got an idea. I'm going to do X this. Okay, I filmed some content. Let's talk equipment. So can it just be a simple thing of get your smartphone, get a tripod, film it? Do you need the glitz, the glamour, the SLR? Do you need the microphones, etc.?
No, most modern phones now are filming at least 2K, if not 4K. The issue with filming in 4K is, the picture quality is great, but the file sizes are massive and difficult to edit. Yeah. So, you could probably just, most of my content that I film is in 1080p. It's not ridiculously high quality. At a later date, I might need to upscale it. But right now, 1080p to 2K is fine. You just use your phone. Get your phone, stick it on a tripod. Try and be in a space that doesn't have bad audio. So you might want to either get some sort of clip-on mic, like a Rode Wireless Go or something, some sort of lav mic that you clip on, connects to your phone, picks up the audio clearer, so it's on here. If you're in most martial arts studios are quite big and they echo. So if you just use the microphone on your phone, you get lots of echo and reverb. It's not great. So test it. See what you reckon. If you're all right with it, like most of my courses are just on a phone. Even my new courses are just with a phone, no external mic, no lighting, just me in a room teaching martial arts.
Yeah.
And that works fine to start, at least. Later on, if you want to upgrade, then you want to get a couple of lights to increase the lighting, softbox lights off of Amazon, something like that, maybe 60 to 100 quid. Some sort of clip-on wireless mic that you can connect to your phone and also connect to you so that the audio is really clear. That's about it. So it's really easy to get started. You don't need any flash equipment. You don't need to buy a $2,000 camera or anything like that. Just use your phone. It's also easier when you use your phone because it's on your phone. You can edit it. You can post direct from your phone. It just makes life a lot easier if it's on your phone. Just make sure your phone's got enough storage.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right, I filmed it. Oh, sorry, they filmed it. The 15 kids and the 15 puppy man or woman has filmed it.
It's just
I know, right? He's a busy guy, okay? But not too busy to do that. Okay, so he's filmed it. It's all good. He's filmed it on his mobile phone. He's done the tripod, etc. And he's edited it as well. So he's used just some of the editing software on his phone, and now he's got a fairly decent clip that just shows what he's doing. Okay, like 3 minutes, something like that?
Yeah.
Perfect. What do you do with it now?
So you jumped way ahead. Like, really, you shouldn't have done any of that stuff to start with. The first thing you should do if you're thinking about creating online courses is see if there is interest and demand for the type of course you're going to create. So the first thing I would do if I started again fresh is start posting on social media to friends, family, fans. I'm thinking of creating an online course on this subject. what sort of thing are you struggling with? What could I help you with? What would you like to see in my online course? That's the very first step, because you want to see if people are like even interested enough just to like raise a hand about it.
Sure.
So that would be the first thing, and I'd get people to engage with me. Like if someone says, "Yeah, I really like that course, and I'd like this, and this, and that," I would then direct message them and say, "Thanks for your interest in my online course. What else could I put in it to, keep you or get you excited about getting it?" So I'd get feedback from lots of different people to see if there's an actual demand for the course. Then the second thing I would do is I'd create some sort of page on the internet where I could tell people about my exciting new course that I will be creating, and that they can enter their email address to learn more about the course. So you could use any sort of website, you could use any sort of funnel builder, you could use any sort of sales page builder, but it's just a single page that is like, "Hi, I'm Matt, I like holding pads, I'm going to create a course about this, it's going to have this and this in it. Enter your details below to see, to learn more, to get first access, and to get a discount on that course."
Yeah.
Because that's easy to set up. There's free page builders, there's paid page builders. You can set it up. If you can't do it, you can find someone who can do it, and you've got this page. But you can then direct these people who have said they are interested in your course to that page. So you say, "Hey, thanks for your feedback about the course. I'm going to do it. Click this link, enter your details, and I'll let you know as it's progressing." And the idea is that you want to get about 100 people on that database, that email database. So you sent a couple of hundred people to that, and then you get 100 people who are like, "Yeah, I'm up for it. I want that. I want that course." That's a sign that they're a bit more committed, right? They're a
Yeah.
bit more serious about getting it. Then I start filming content.
Okay, perfect.
So the idea is plant the idea out into the universe, build an audience of people who have said they are interested, get a micro commitment from that audience to enter their email address into your landing page sales page, and then start thinking about, okay, now I'm going to build a course. And the biggest mistake that most people make when they start with a course is they try and create the mother of all courses, like the
15
ultimate
hours of
guide.
top quality 4D content, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
You say that, I had a guy who created a course that was 40 hours long. I didn't ask him to, he just did it off his own back. I was like, dude, that's exactly the wrong thing to do. So what you want to do is your first course wants to be like 45 to 60 minutes worth of content that solves a specific problem for the people who have entered their email into your landing page. You're not going to try and teach them everything you've learned in the last 30 years. That's not going to happen. You can do that later.
Yeah.
One course, short, so it's easy to create, easy to film, easy to upload. That's going to be low priced because it's short.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing to offer to these people first. Because here's, as you know, as a martial arts instructor, you say to your students, "I'm going to teach a seminar in a month's time on tide pad drills." And they all go, and you say, "Who's interested?" And then everyone in the class puts a hand up, right?
Yeah.
And then as it gets closer to the seminar, you're like, "Have you paid your £50 deposit for it?" "Oh, no, well, got to take the old dog to the vets." "Oh, no, well, something's happened at work, so I can't make it." "Oh, no, well, my knee's feeling a bit dodgy, so I'll leave this one." So out of the original 25 people who said they were interested, you actually get 5 showing up to the seminar.
Sure.
Because people say they're interested, but the proof of interest in the real world is paying for it. So the idea of keeping this price of this course relatively low, and what does that mean? I'd say under 20 quid.
Okay.
Is you've got your database of 100 people who have raised their hand. You then go to them and say, "I'm creating this course. Who wants to buy it?" And you see how many you sell. So if you can get 20, 30, 40, 50 of those people to buy your course, that's a great sign that there's demand for it. And you haven't wasted loads of time creating a mammoth course and all of that. You know, what time have you spent? You've spent an hour and a half filming the content, another hour editing the content. You spent an hour creating the sales page, and you've done some social media posting. So it's not masses of time. Well, what it will tell you is like, are people willing to pay for it? Because a lot of people say they all are, but when it
Yeah.
actually comes to getting the old wallet out,
Putting their hand in their pocket. Yeah.
suddenly they go a bit shy. So
Yeah.
that's the next step. Like, interact with the email list that you developed. Now, you could create the video content and then try and sell it to the email list. But there's another thing I would prefer you do, which is maybe film 5-10 minutes of the complete course. Give that for free to the people on the email list and say, I'm filming it, but you can pay in advance and get a discount if you pay now. So you can get it. It's going to be on sale for $19.99, but you can get it for $9.99. And here's a sample of what is included in the course. Sign up now. You've got 7 days. And what you'll find then is like you'll get 20, 30, 40, 50 people who will pre-order the course.
Yeah.
Which is a great sign, because then what you do is you build the rest of the course and you sell it to those people. But what happens if you have a database of 100 people and then 2 people buy the pre-order at $9.99? That's a sign that either your course that you're thinking of creating isn't great or isn't resonating with your audience, or you've got the wrong audience. So there's like these series of tests that you do on your journey to making £1 million online. And they're quite simple to do. You just say, I'm building this. Do you want to pre-order it for this price? If you get enough people going for it, you're like, excellent. If not, it's back to the drawing board, and maybe you tweak the offer you're gonna create for them, or you find better quality leads.
Perfect. It sounds almost too easy.
I think it's easy, but I've obviously done it for a long time. But what most people do is what I did. So not most people do is they go, I'm going to create an online course. And then they create a 6-hour course, all the filming. They pay someone to film it on a high quality camera, and they spend a load of money to create the course. They spend $1,000 or $2,000. And then they find a platform to put it on. They build the platform, or they pay someone to build the platform. And they do no marketing. They do no research on if anyone wants it. They don't build up a database. And then on a rainy Tuesday afternoon, they go, ta-da, the course is there. Who wants a course? And people are like, what? what course is this? Then they sell free copies of this, and then they get sad. So that's what happened to me. I did it backwards. I built everything and then tried to sell it. Better to build an audience, engage the audience, sell the idea, then build the course, and then sell it to the audience. So that will save people a lot of time if they do it that way around. Well, no, it doesn't save them time. It will save them a lot of heartache, and they'll make more sales if they do it that way around.
Okay, perfect. I think that all makes sense so far. So he's got his idea. He's all good. He's put it out to his community. He said, what do you want to look at? They've said, I want this, 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 or whatever. He's done a little bit of a short form kind of content with it. He's gone, okay, here it is. He's built up a list. He's sent a little snippet out and said, reduce price. That's then kind of tested the water, in which case he then builds the big course, yeah?
Yes. Not the big course, the first course.
Or the first course, the low entry level one that they've asked for. Okay, perfect. So that goes well. He gets a few people selling it. It's good. Happy days. Yeah. He's like, yes, I'm a champion of the world. This is good. This is all going well. He keeps putting content out there then. But then the trolls, they come.
Yes.
He starts getting some negative comments. She starts getting some negative comments on the content that they're putting out there.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Because obviously it's a huge thing now with people, and everybody, as soon as you put yourself out there, especially in terms of martial arts or anything like that, or in anything actually, you're going to get people that go, nope, that's load of shit. You're an awful person. Fuck off. So, like, how do you just deal with that? Is it just a simple case of block, delete, done, ignore, or is there something more that you kind of think, all right?
3 different ways of handling this. I'm going to say something a bit controversial, but I think a lot of martial arts instructors should just toughen up a bit. Like, like you're meant to be in martial arts to build self-confidence, self-belief, discipline, the ability to take physical and mental damage. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of martial arts instructors out there who are incredibly sensitive to criticism from people
Yeah.
who they've never met. I just don't get it. Like, I'm quite thick-skinned. In fact, I'm very thick-skinned. So
Yeah.
someone says, I've had some classics, as you know, of people slagging me off on the internet.
Yeah.
Some really good ones, and I'm like, okay, as long as they're not offensive, I don't even bother to ban and delete them. Like, if they say that wouldn't work for me, I'm like, yeah, all right, okay. If they start getting offensive, then yeah, it's block, ban, delete, and done, and you move on. But I don't get the sensitivity to someone you've never met saying something about you online. It doesn't, like, I don't. Do you get it? I don't get it.
I understand partly because people have invested time and they've invested their life and they've invested like maybe money into it, and then you put it out there and then it's like, I know what you say, it's that self-belief, and it's like you should be able to just go, no, this is what I do, I've got this amount of experience, I will listen to people better than me, but no one equal or under me. Like, that's
No,
kind of the way that I look at it.
I will listen to people under me. I mean, if they've got
Yeah.
good things to say, I will listen to them. It's just, I don't, like, if you've never trained with me or met me, how can you judge me?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. So I
Sure.
basically ignore most of it. To be honest, most of it is positive. So
Yeah.
I would say like most 80-90% plus of what you get online is positive when you're putting content out there. Some of it is criticizing your technique. Now, the way to handle the criticism of your technique, like, you're doing that wrong, which I get quite a lot, is you say, oh, okay, thanks very much for that. Could you just post a video of you doing it correctly so I can learn from you?
Sure.
Guess how many people post a video?
Big fat zero. Watch the
Yeah,
tumbleweed go.
because no one really wants to do that. They don't want to put
Sure.
themselves out there for criticism. So that usually shuts them up. And then you get the people who are just offensive, and usually it makes me laugh. I'm like, oh, classic. Like, some of the lines I've had are just so hilarious.
Come on, what's your number one insult, or what's the number one comment that you've been given?
I think "load of wank" was one of my favourites.
Right.
Load of wank. Another guy sent me like a 5-word email. I've watched your videos. Just stop. I'm like, he took the time to open up his email thing and like send, what's his address? Yeah, okay, just stop. So I've had all sorts. My thing is I focus on the people who are enjoying what I'm creating and the people I'm helping, and all
Yeah.
my attention is on what they want, and the rest don't really matter. But I'm on a quest to try and help martial arts instructors not be so sensitive about this online stuff. Like, they get furious. I've got friends who, someone says something negative about the video, they're like actually angry about it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this is the internet, though. People say all sorts of stupid things anyway.
Correct. Yeah.
So I say, don't take it so personally. Focus on the people who value what you're creating. Ban and delete the offensive ones, and toughen up a bit.
Perfect. Toughen up. Yeah. Stop being such a pansy.
It's the benefits of getting this working far outweigh the negatives of people saying mean things about you on the internet. Like, if I'd stopped after my first load of wank comments, I wouldn't have then built a business that's done over $1 million in revenue and sold my martial arts school and now fully gone online and now coach other people to go online and live a really life that I'm really grateful for. Lots of free time, plenty of income for the family. If I'd stopped at that, I wouldn't have got that. So, like, yes, people can say mean things about you on the internet, but you can just get rid of them and never hear from them again. It's why would you let some arsehole from the other side of the world stop you doing what you're passionate about when they've never met you? Now, if they've met me and trained with me and they think I'm crap, that's a totally different thing. Full parity here. But
yeah.
Like, if you never touched hands with me, I wouldn't really worry about it.
Okay, fair enough. Good. The next bit then. So let's talk about scaling. So
Let's
you've got your first few sales in. Maybe you've made, I don't know, a couple of £100,
yeah,
and you've gone kind of go, okay, there's maybe a little bit of a market for it now. I've done
yeah,
this low end product that's under £20. I've had 10 people buy it.
yeah,
So that's £200, say,
yeah.
150 to £200. You then go, right, I need to scale this up. So what's the next step then towards this £1,000 that we're looking for?
I mean, there's three ways to make that extra money up. One, create a product or use the same product and sell it to your own members. So if you've got a martial arts school, you might have 100, 200, 300, 400 members. When you create this online product, sell it back to your own members, along
Yeah,
with certain bonuses. Like you could include a seminar with it, you can include extra materials with it, you could include it as part of an equipment purchase, but you can often sell the same content that you're selling externally, internally. So that would be
yeah,
one place I'd look instantly. Secondly, I'd start looking for groups of people who are similar to the people who have bought your course. So, for example, if you created a course on kickboxing and you've managed to attract kickboxers from your social media posts to your email list, ask them where they hang out online, like which
hmm
groups of it, which Facebook groups are they in, which forums are they in, which Twitter, X feeds do they follow, what channels do they follow on Instagram, because that's where your kickboxers are going to congregate. And then you
yeah,
just start sharing content in those places. You know, you share clips from your videos, you share testimonials from people who are happy with your videos, you share the story of how you created it and why you created it, and that will attract more people like them to you. So you start to build that database more and you start to make more sales. The third way and the fastest way to make this work is to do JVs with people who already have an audience. So a JV stands for a joint venture or a partnership. Basically, you go to someone who's already got a large audience online in your niche, martial arts, for example, and you say, hey, enjoy what you've been doing. I'm creating online courses that I think would be beneficial to your followers and your fans. Are you open to having a discussion about maybe promoting them to your followers and fans in exchange for commission? Now, you're going to ask, if you ask one person that, you'll get an immediate no.
yeah.
But if you ask 100 people who have audiences that, you're going to get 10 yeses or
Cool.
20 yeses. And
Yeah,
what that means is, let's say they've got, like me, I've got close to 100,000 Facebook fans. If I promote their course to my audience, they're instantly going to make sales and take a percentage of my audience and take it over to their audience, and their audience grows. So
yeah,
the fastest way to really scale an online business, at least initially, is to find other people who've got influence, partner with them. And usually when you partner with them, it's a 50-50 split.
okay,
You get 50% because you created the content. They get 50% because they have the audience. So it's a fair 50-50 split. Um, and yeah, you do it right. And I've done this with several of my clients that I've worked with. I've promoted their courses to my database of martial arts fans, and they've done well. They've made a couple of grand in sales almost immediately,
yeah,
and they've got a couple of more 100 extra people on their email database that they can continue to market to, and they've increased their influence and the awareness. So yeah, that would be, if you want to go there fast, that's the best way to do it. The go there slow approach is create a ton of content and be sharing it continuously on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube,
yeah,
TikTok. Organic ways of generating awareness, but it takes so much time. You have to be posting daily, consistently for months, if not years, to
yeah.
get enough awareness to drive people to your website. So to go from like 200 quid sales to a couple of grand in sales, um, focus on selling to your own students, focus on finding out where your ideal market is congregating, and then turn up there and share useful information and help people and direct people back towards your courses, or find people who have audiences already and work with them to promote your courses.
Perfect. I want to go back just a little bit because it seemed from what you're saying that like a crucial part of all this is the email list.
Yeah.
And like that just seems to be kind of like where you send everything. If you can send people to your email list and then you send content to the email list, from that
Mhm.
point equals hopefully sales because they're
Yes.
invested and they've
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of gone subscribe.
Yeah.
So how do you start building that email list? And what do you do software wise to start building that email list? Because a lot of people always fall down at the software side of it, or
Yeah.
what to use, and kind of go, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. Is it
Yeah.
paid? Is it free? Is it what?
Yeah. So your email list is an asset that you own. So what a lot of people think is, I want to build a big social media following, but
Mm.
Facebook can at any time just change the mind and do the Thanos click and just remove your account, and
Yeah,
you've lost all of your followers. And that's happened to people that I know. You know, they built up an audience of 500,000 people, and Facebook's gone, no, you're no longer there, and all gone.
ouch. Yeah,
Yeah. So any platform that where you don't own it basically means that the person who owns it can take it away. So yes, you need a social media audience. Yes, you need a YouTube audience. But what you really need more than else is an email database of people who have raised their hand, because you own that forever. That's
yeah,
yours. No one can take it away from you, and you can continually contact that database with useful information and or offers until the end of time. So yeah, the email list is key. Whatever software you use for hosting your course will connect to some sort of email provider. I'm a big fan of using Thinkific for online courses because I think it's really powerful. It's got a lot of options. It's got various price points, so it's easy for people to find the right price for them as well. And that will connect. Thinkific, the platform where you hold your videos, etc., will connect to an email platform. And I'm a big fan of ConvertKit for email, and that's it's got different prices, but it's about £20 a month to get started. And what that allows you to do is build up a database of people who have raised their hand, send automated emails to those people, send broadcast emails where you're promoting offers to those people. It also allows you to check how many people have opened your emails, what your click-through rate is. What you don't want to do is basically save them all in your contacts list on Gmail,
right. Yeah,
and then like send out emails to lots of people all at the same time from Gmail, because Gmail considers that spamming,
yeah.
and it will shut down your Gmail account and stop your emails going out. So that's what people think they should do, because it will save me 20 quid a month if I
Mm-hmm.
just do it from my Gmail account. But you'll get your Gmail account shut down and you'll get a bad reputation. So you have to use email software to do that, because they're set up correctly for that. So ConvertKit is my favorite for emails. It's easy to use. It's relatively cheap, and you can set it up relatively easy and scale it as you grow. And that ConvertKit connects to your platform, such as Thinkific. So here's how it works. You'll be advertising your course on Facebook, for example, or your lead magnet or whatever on Facebook. People will click the link, they'll go through to your Thinkific site, they'll enter that email information to get the free course or the low price course, and then lots of police in your area. Did you hear that?
I did. Yeah. Yeah. It's a
Scary.
rough area. Rough. Yeah.
And then that connects your ConvertKit, and then you mark it out from ConvertKit. So
Okay.
there's steps, right? But
Yeah.
in the beginning, just kind of building an audience through social media content, trying to get people interested, and then going to something like ConvertKit to create a form that people can enter their details on to express their interest is the key.
So that should be the focus for people when they're starting up building that list.
Yes. Building an audience, building engagement, and building that list up, because the bigger the list, the more sales you can make. So I know a guy who's got a email list of 250,000 people. So when he does a promotion, like 20,000 people buy whatever he's buying. So you don't need many people, even if you had £1
No. Just
So
percentages wise, yeah.
yeah, so it is about building that list bigger and bigger. But obviously I can help people with that. If people need help with this side of things, working out the software, working out what emails to send, all
Yeah.
of that, I can help them.
So that was going to be my next question. Kind of what do you send people then? So they've subscribed to the email list, they've shown their initial interest.
Yeah.
Is there a certain amount of times you should be emailing? Is there like a sweet spot of that? Is it once a month? Is it once a week? Is it once a fortnight? Like,
Yeah, minimum should be once a week. Some people, maximum is daily. Some people send emails daily. Personally, I think that's a bit too much, but at least once a week. Because if you email your list once a month, they've forgotten about you.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is to stay top of mind so that when the person's ready to buy, they can just jump to your website and buy. And you have to do that through continually creating content and sharing it and turning up in their inbox, turning up on their social media feed, so that they're like, oh yeah, mitts, I need to get some jewels on that, or I need to buy some courses on that. So yeah, weekly emails is good. Nowadays with the AI revolution with ChatGPT, you can get ChatGPT to write your emails for you, which makes your life a lot easier. So
and you can
often,
automate them as well, yeah?
yeah. So often you can, like, instructors or martial artists sit down to write an email and they're like, I'm not sure what to write. But you can say to ChatGPT, I want to write a email welcome sequence for my online course business that teaches this, and this. Give me the first 10 emails that should be in that sequence, and it will do it for you. And then you just need to tweak it a little bit, make it your own, put your own personality into it, and then get it out there. So it's quite amazing.
Wow. And then after that, you've got the automation sequence then for 10 emails. They've gone out over 10 weeks. Mm-hmm. Then you just do broadcast emails after that. Is that correct? Or
so the idea of the email sequence is the person has now bought a £9 course, right? At this point, they bought their first course. So the idea of the emails is that you sell them on the benefits of buying the bigger course. So you're never going to make mega money selling £9 courses. You have to have a range of products, so like low price, mid price, high price. My most expensive course is like £2,000, so that people can, that's what they call ascend through those different levels. So some people will buy a £9 course and that's all they're ever going to buy, but other people will buy the 9, the 29, the 99, and the 1,009 course. So you need those different levels. Now the emails are designed to educate people why they need to then take the next step. So like you might have 10 emails, but an email 7 or 8, you're talking about if you want to get the next level of the course, if you want to master this particular drill, if you want to find out my next products, click here, and you encourage people to buy at that point. The thing with online is it's different numbers than we're used to. As martial arts instructors, we're used to high conversion rate, meaning if I run a martial arts school and I get 100 leads, I'm fairly confident I can get 30 to 50 of those to show up at my school, and then get 15 to 20 to 30 of those to join as members. So 100 leads, 30 members. No problem. Unfortunately, online, you have to at least probably 10x that, if not 100x that. So you get 100 people going to your website online, you're going to get one sale.
Yeah.
That's how the internet works. That's just it. Doesn't matter what business you're running on the internet. Generally, if you have 100 people visit a web page, you get one person buy. And sometimes not even that. So what happens is martial artists are like, Matt, I've built my database. I've got 200 people on it. I've created a course. I've marketed the course to the email list. I've launched it, and I've made 3 sales. What the hell's going on? And I'm like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's a 3% conversion rate. Like that's all right. But they're like, they think because they've got 200 people that they're going to make 100 sales. It's just the internet. It doesn't work like that. It's not like a connection. The reason why we're able to convert 100 leads to 30 members is because they meet us, they chat with us, we find out what their problems are, we build rapport with them, we give them a good physical training session, we sell them on the benefits of martial arts, and we sign them up.
Yeah.
Online, because there's none of that happening, the conversion rates are like 1%. So if you're going to start in this and take it anywhere, just understand that the numbers are different. It's not the same as running a martial arts school. You need bigger numbers at the top coming in, and you get smaller numbers at the bottom coming out. However, if you do it right and you do it consistently enough, it's almost semi-passive. What that means is I created courses 10 years ago that I'm still selling today. I was younger, thinner back then. I'm still selling today. So I created something in the past that is making me money in the present and will continue to make me money in the future without me doing any extra effort. Now, that's amazing. Like that is amazing, because what we have to do as martial arts instructors is go and physically teach a class, and then go back tomorrow and teach a class, and then go back tomorrow. So it's physical effort over time, repeated, which is what breaks us in the long run. Whereas with online, it's create a product once, sell it forever.
Yeah.
And tell you what, it's so cool when you're having a cup of tea and you're dunking your biscuit in and you make 50 quid and you're like, what the? And you eat your biscuit. Or you go to bed and you wake up and you've made a couple of £100 and you're like, insane. While I was sleeping, I was making money. Or you're away on a holiday, swimming in the pool, and you make £100. Once it happens, it's like, oh wow, okay, this is a different way of working and earning money. It's a hell of a lot easier than getting kicked by 20-year-olds.
Kicked in the head every day.
It's a lot.
When was that time then that it started working for you? Obviously, after that first year, you said you got your first sale, but then how did you scale up to the point where you went, oh, okay, actually, I'm going to sell the academy now. I'm going to quit. I'm going to go full time. And what was that point where you went, yeah, okay?
It was about 3 years after I started Mittmaster. So first year, like zero sales. Second year, I did about 12 grand. Third year, I did about 26.
So what changed then? So from that first year of going no sales to second year 12 grand, that's like quite a big step up. So what happened in between those, like month 12 and then month 13 or 14? Books, shelves. You got shelving.
I educated myself on marketing because I was clueless about marketing. So I didn't know how to promote or advertise or like share my story or write copy or any of that. So I read a lot of books, I went on a lot of courses, I watched a lot of video, and I figured out, okay, I need to get good at marketing. And funnily enough, as I got better at marketing for online, I also got better at marketing in my martial arts school. So my martial arts school got better as well at the same time. But after about 3 years, I was like, I could make possibly enough to replace my income from the martial arts school. And by that time, I was so burnt out. I just went
so jaded. You're like, no.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just going to do it. Like, fuck it. I'm going to go for it. So I phoned up my business partner, mate, James, and I said, I'm out. I'm going to sell the school to you. I'm going to do the online thing, which is a bit risky because I hadn't fully replaced my income from the martial arts school online yet.
What year was this?
I can't remember. I'm not good with years. But this was like year 3 or 4 of the business starting.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to just go for it, give it a go. On reflection, that was the wrong thing to do.
Do not recommend. Yeah.
No, do not recommend. On reflection, what I should have done is removed myself from the day-to-day operation of the business, mainly covered the marketing of the business, the admin of the business, taken a couple of grand a month from the business, let the business run without me, and then I'd have another revenue stream from the martial arts school. So I do not recommend selling your martial arts school when you suddenly get this online stuff sorted. Yeah, ideally, if I'd gone back in time, I would have kept the martial arts schools and kept them growing together at the same time, but not done 25 hours teaching a week, not done 20 hours of private lessons a week. I would have dropped all of that and just gone into managing the business more. So yeah, when I got to that point, I was like, right, time to give it a go. I'm quite like that. I'm quite spontaneous, and when I think I'm on the right track, I jump in with both feet, which is probably not the best idea. So yeah, sold the business to James, and then just really went online. And that at that point, that doubled my income from there on straight away, because all the brakes were off. All the energy I was investing into the martial arts school was now directed towards online. So I was much more focused. The 40, 50 hours a week I was doing teaching was now 40, 50 hours online. So that doubled the income straight away. And then it doubled every single year for the next sort of 2 or 3 years.
Amazing. Is it too late for people to get online, do you think? Do you think the market's oversaturated yet?
Absolutely.
Do you think it will ever become oversaturated?
No, because it's not about saturation. It's about your unique thing that you bring to the market. So let's look at BJJ, for example. BJJ was one of the first martial arts to go online and to create online teaching resources. And if you go on BJJ Fanatics, there's like 500 different courses there. What it is you need to understand it's your way of expressing the same drills and concepts that makes you unique, that makes your content unique, that makes people want to buy it. So to give you an example in BJJ that people may know, like Renzo Gracie has online courses. He's very charismatic, he's very Brazilian, and and as a way of teaching that some people like. His top student John Danaher, has online courses, but has a very different style. Very slow, very methodical, very analytical, lots of thinking and stroking the beard. They're both teaching the same sort of stuff, but they're teaching it in different ways. And some people love John Danaher's stuff, and other people can't stand it. They can't listen to it. It's so boring and slow, right? But he's created his own group of people who love and same with Renzo, and the same with Marcelo Garcia, and the same with. So what you're basically doing is you're creating a tribe of people around you who resonate with how you explain things, how you teach, your message, your passion, your communication style. And once you've got 1,000 people in that tribe, it's very easy to create a six-figure online course business. Because let's say I've got 1,000 people who love Mittmaster content. They only need to spend £100 per year each, and I've got a six-figure business. 1,000 people each spending 100 quid with me per year, 100 grand revenue. So you're not trying to appeal to everyone. You're not trying to get everyone in your market to buy your course. You're basically trying to find 1,000 people who would be willing to pay £100 each per year, and then you get a six-figure business, which if you combine that with the money you're making from your martial arts school, it's plenty enough. You're making 30, 40, 50 grand a year from your martial arts school. You're making 100K online. You're going to be paying some hefty taxes. That's the only problem. But you'll be in a very comfortable place. And as I'm constantly talking to older martial arts instructors, as you get older and older, you might not want to teach 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
So why not build the online course asset now? So in 10 years' time, when it's bringing in 100K, 200K, 300K a year, you can reduce your training and teaching down to like just teaching the black belts once or twice a week. You've got this other revenue stream that is not reliant on you physically doing stuff. You can semi-retire into that, like essentially I kind of retired from teaching at 40, how old was I? 41, 42.
Not a bad position to be in.
Properly teaching on the regular, 41, 42. So it's a good position to be in. I really am trying to encourage martial arts instructors to take this opportunity that they have in front of them, because this only has existed for the last 10, 15 years. There wasn't the ability to do this before. Previously, you'd have to write a book, and it's really hard to teach martial arts through a book. It's a lot easier through video. So literally, the technology has come together in the last 10, 15 years and allowed you as a martial arts instructor, wherever you are in the world, to film content, upload it to social media places, find an audience that enjoys your content, get them to buy it, and then you can sell that same content around the world. Like I've got people who buy courses in over 100 countries. It's like Someone in Vietnam is going to buy a Mittmaster course. You're like, oh, what? It's like, but they're watching it on their phones. So that also removes the risk of local issues. We all, during the pandemic, lockdowns happening, right? So your country might be locked down, your classes might be locked down, but you can still sell information and courses anywhere in the world with no restriction. So I think it's a massive opportunity. I think the thing that stops most people getting started with it is fear. I think they're fearful of the technology, fearful of other people's opinions, and imposter syndrome, fearful that they're not good enough. Now, I'm not the best martial artist in the world. I'm not the best martial artist in the UK. I'm not even the best martial artist in Essex, where I live. But what I have is a ability to communicate in a way that resonates with a certain group of people who like how I teach my stuff. So you don't have to be the best. It's not about that. It's about finding that 1,000 people who just kind of go, hey, I like the way Matt teaches pad drills. I'm going to buy some of his courses. So get it out your head that you need to be the absolute best in the world. The best in the world will create their own courses and kill it. But there's other people who also want your way of doing it, your way of teaching it, your personality behind it, your passion for it coming through. But I speak to a lot of instructors about this, and they really struggle to deal with the fear. It's the fear that's holding them back from starting and getting it going. And then unrealistic expectations. Let's say you create your first course, you sell 10 copies of a £9 course. To me, I'm like, great. People want this. I just got to find more people like them. To a lot of instructors, it's like, oh shit, I've only sold 9. People must hate it. No one wants it. Oh, it's me. I'm the problem. I'm like, so
just that little shift.
Yeah. Like as soon as I got my first sale, which was for the hefty price of £7.99, as soon as I got that first sale, I was like, great. There's people out there who want this. Now, it's not everyone. 8 billion people in the world. I'm not going to sell 8 billion copies of a course. I'm going to sell 5,000 copies of a course. So out of 8 billion people, there's only 5,000 people who really want what I want. But 5,000 people per year spending...
Still 5,000 people.
Yeah, spending £100 each is £500,000 coming in.
Yep.
So it's not too shabby then. So the fear, it's really hard. And I've worked with a lot of great martial artists on this, and they still get the fear a little bit. Like I've worked with people like Bob Breen with his online platforms, Eddie Quinn with his online platforms, like really respected martial artists, and they still get a little bit of the fear about what will people think about this. Like, is it going to work? Is it going to be popular? Yeah, it's hard. But I do encourage people to at least give it a go, because all right, let's say you never get to the point where you're bringing in a couple of £100,000 a year from your online courses. You could bring in an extra £1,000 a month.
Yeah,
that's useful, right?
100%. That's a holiday. That's a X amount. That's a whatever.
That's a very nice car. That's money off your mortgage. That's paying for kids' creche, tuition, whatever. Like £1,000 extra a month. So maybe it's the same thing with the influencers on YouTube. I made £1 million in 45 minutes, whatever. Then if you don't hit that goal, you're like, I'm a failure. No, I think if you
Yeah.
can set up this type of business, help people around the world, share your passion with more people, and make an extra grand a month, I think you're a winner. I think that's great.
I'm going to put you on the spot just on the final bit and just say, what would be 3 tips that you would give someone then? Your top tips for someone that's interested in moving online. Not specifically martial arts, but anyone that's thinking, I've got a passion for something, I'm good at doing something, I've invested time, money, effort myself in learning something. What would be your top 3 tips for someone going, okay, I want to give it a go?
Oh, that's tricky. Yeah. Get your head straight first. Understand it's going to take time, consistent effort, and you're not going to make millions straight away. So head
Yeah.
mindset first, then build an audience of people who are going to engage with you. So, reach out to the right type of people you want to work with and start talking about what you're planning to do. Maybe start filming a little bit of content to share with them, and try and build an audience of people who are at least willing to give you their email address, because that's like the lowest commitment.
Yeah.
So if you can build that little group of people, then you're onto a winner. Number 3, what's the third thing? Don't create a mega course. Like, I know you know a lot of stuff, but you don't need to share it in one course. No one
Sure.
wants to sit for a 60-hour course. Like, start
Yeah.
start with a half-hour to 45-minute course and build it from there. Because once you've built the audience, once you got your head right, once you built the audience, once you created the micro course and you've sold it, and you've sold 20 or 30, you can start. You've started the car moving. The brakes are off. The
Yeah.
car is moving very slowly. You can then add more, momentum to it and build it over time. So start small. I would say would be the third tip.
Perfect. And tip number 4 then was probably to get in touch with you. Because you now offer your services, don't you, to then help people that are interested in moving onto the online space. So if they are interested, how can they get in contact with you? And what do
They
you
can
kind
get
of provide?
contact to me. Go to mittmaster.com and find my contact information on there, or look me up on Facebook, Matthew Chapman, and find me on there, or send me an email, matt@mittmaster.com, mittmaster.com, and I can give you a hand. I love helping people with this. Like, I've had some blinding successes with this. Like, people who have, one of my clients is closing in on 100K revenue from their online course, which means they've stopped teaching classes because they can focus online. Another one's hitting close to 200K of online revenue. Another one's bringing in about 60K a month. So it's crazy.
Wow.
What you can do. And I just love that. I love helping martial arts instructors share their passion with more people and get paid better. I think martial arts instructors are grotesquely underpaid for the value that they provide in the world, in their community. I don't think they're paid enough. And I think if you can get the online rocking and rolling for you, it's just another great income stream to support your life and make a difference. It's just nice. I just like helping martial arts instructors, really. So yeah, if anyone's interested in starting the online course journey, get in touch with me. I can give you a hand and take you on the first steps of that.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming on, Matt. I'm sure we could talk for another hour or so, but that's been an hour of pure gold, I think. There's some really actionable tips in there, which I think was what I kind of wanted from this, to be fair. I wanted actionable tips for people that are like, I'm kind of interested, but I don't know where to start. So definite tick in the box for that one, I think. So thank you so much for giving up your time. I appreciate it.
No worries. Nice to see you, dude. You're looking good.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Cheers.